Everyone, and welcome back to the TFC Football YouTube channel. Today with a roundup of the weekend's Premier League games for you, all the way starting from Everton versus Newcastle all the way through to Brighton versus Tottenham. So firstly, let's start with Everton versus Newcastle, and what an absolute result it was for Newcastle. A big shock, without a win in 11 games now for Steve Bruce's men, and Newcastle came out fighting with a lot more belief and attack today than what they have done for a very, very long time. And despite a very good chance, well, two very good chances from Everton, I would say, in the game. The first being Richarlison seemingly just running and dribbling through everyone before putting his shot straight at the gloves of Darlow. And the second chance, James Rodriguez being slipped through on goal with a Calvert-Lewin back heel, and Darlow was able to save that also. But in terms of Newcastle's goals, they were amazing goals. Both of them scored by Callum Wilson in the game. The first one, a very, very good header from Callum Wilson. I think it was Shelvey who took the corner, and sort of, I'd say, the top of the 6-yard box. Callum Wilson, maybe a bit further out, but in line with the 6-yard box. Callum Wilson got his head on it. Beautifully looked header into the far post. Pickford had no chance at all, and it was a world-class goal and something that Steve Bruce could put his hands up and celebrate at last. And with the second goal, another very, very good goal. Newcastle bringing it down the left-hand side, and Jamal Lewis spreading it across to Callum Wilson, and Callum Wilson is able to take it down with composure, look up and just slot it home in the back of the net and make it 2-0 to Newcastle in this game. And it's a very, very important win for Newcastle, taking them a few points further away into the safety zone, away from relegation. And in terms of Everton, really putting a little bit of a dampener on their spirits in terms of getting European football this season. In terms of Champions League football, I feel like they'll have to be a lot more consistent and get results more often against teams like this. But Europa League is still a very big possibility for Everton this season. The next match of the weekend was Crystal Palace versus Wolverhampton Wanderers, and what a close game it was, I would say. And Crystal Palace just edging it 1-0 with a beautiful goal, an absolutely exquisite goal from Easy, who got the ball passed into him by Jordan Ayew on the edge of Wolves' box, and he let it run across his body straight to his left foot, took one touch with his left foot and then absolutely buried it in the middle of the goal, just past Wolves' goalkeeper. It was a superb shot, a superb goal, and he has really showed to pay off for Crystal Palace this season. A big game-changing player, and yeah, with the 3 points, Crystal Palace will be very happy with that, and as a result of that, moving further up the league table, and yeah, will, I'm sure, be trying to look for that top half of the table, and maybe even Europa League. Wouldn't even count that out with this season and the Premier League table that we're seeing at the moment. And in terms of Wolves, I feel like they will be very disappointed with today. They had a few memorable chances throughout the game. A Willian Jose chance that was a very good chance, and then as well from the corner, Wolves had a very good chance in the second half, I think it was, from the right hand side. And yeah, I just think Wolves as well really struggling without Raul Jimenez. Yeah, I think he's one of those players that you just can't miss. He's a very, very good talent and really does improve Wolves' game, and you can tell there's a clear difference without him there. So yeah, a good 3 points today for Crystal Palace. we were treated to the third game of the weekend with West Bromwich Albion versus Fulham, and it was a 2-2 draw, but it was a very, very entertaining 2-2 draw for the neutral, as Fulham took the lead with Bobby Decord over Reed, cutting the West Brom defence clean open and getting in on goal, and he put it straight past the goalkeeper to his left-hand side, and that put Fulham 1-0 up and continuously opening up West Brom's defence and going clean through on goal. He later on, after that opportunity, hit the post in a very similar move from Fulham, but this time was unsuccessful, and yeah, West Brom were able to equalise through what was a bit of a lucky deflection for them that took a ball that was going in from the left-hand side further than it would have been expected to go, and none other than Bartley in the penalty area was able to slot it home past the Fulham goalkeeper, and that was 1-1. But there were very, very many chances for both sides. It was very entertaining, and yeah, the second goal, another amazing example from West Bromwich Albion, and Matheus Pereira really being one of the big key difference makers for West Brom this season, and keeping them in the race to get out of relegation for West Brom this season. And the ball comes in from the right hand side this time, and Matheus Pereira gets a toe to it, and that is just enough to put it in the back of the net. And just when you think West Brom will probably win this game, that's what I thought at this point. And then Cavallero at the back post for Fulham to make it 2-2. A beautiful cross just whipped in from the right hand side, and it travels all the way through to the back post. The keeper a little bit unsure of what to do, and I see him sort of come close to the ball but then reassess and go back with his position in terms of where he was in the goal. And Cavallero was just there, and with a diving header just blasts it straight past John Stone, the West Brom keeper, and that was 2-2. And that was a very, very entertaining game from two sides towards the bottom of the league, who both need points desperately, and I feel like a point each for both of them. They'll both be very happy, I feel like. They both had chances in the game, they both deserved something, and I think a draw was a really fair result today. An amazing performance from Manchester City saw them extend their lead at the top of the Premier League with a 1-0 win over Sheffield United, and although the scoreline made it seem as though it was a close game, in my opinion it really wasn't, with Manchester City having many chances to extend their lead, and amazing play all throughout the day. And yeah, the goal started off when it looked like it was seemingly dead, the opportunity. Ferran Torres in Sheffield United's penalty box in the corner on the floor, the defenders looking like they had that situation sorted, but Ferran Torres was just able to easily weave through two of the Sheffield United defenders and just slip it through to Jesus, who I feel like where he took a little while to control the ball and get it under his touch properly, and when he did, the keeper just was diving around everywhere, and it was pretty easy for him to slot home for 1-0 to Manchester City. And I personally feel like Manchester City, they're just electrifying the way they are, the way they've been this season, the most consistent team of anyone to this day, and again just showing why they're currently top of the league at the moment, with their consistency, with their amazing play. And yeah, not one of their players, I would say, is ever having an off day so far this season, for the large part, I would say, at least. And yeah, in terms of yesterday's game, with Manchester City and Sheffield United, I thought that could have been a potential stumbling block like it was for Manchester United, but unlike Manchester United, Manchester City were able to quite comfortably negotiate that threat and come away with the 3 points that are very important for them. And in terms of Sheffield United, remain at the bottom of the league, without any points in this game, weren't able to do what they were able to do against Manchester United, and I think it is very, very hard currently for Sheffield United to even stand a chance of staying up this season. I think for them to even have a chance, they would have to win majority of their remaining games to survive, and I don't think that will be a realistic prospect for them. But I do think that they will have more success in the end half of the season to what they did in the first half, hopefully. So yeah, straight on to the next game. A very important game in the Premier League this weekend was Arsenal versus Manchester United, where whoever won this game, if there was a winner, would have a very important 3 points for Manchester United, keeping tabs on Manchester City at the top of the Premier League, or for Arsenal getting 3 points to help propel them up closer to their challengers for the top 4 places. And in the end, I have to say, it was a brilliant game. There were many chances for both sides. Lacazette from a free kick hitting the crossbar, Cavani having 2 opportunities to score in the penalty box, putting one wide of the left post in the first half, and in the second half, Cavani with what looked to be a bicycle kick but was a bit behind him, but despite making good connection on it, it still went wide to the right hand post, and Rashford had an opportunity as well for Manchester United, where the ball was won high up the pitch from a Thomas Partey mistake, and it went straight to Marcus Rashford, and Marcus Rashford put it in the side net in there and didn't take advantage of his opportunity. And in terms of Arsenal as well, they had some very good opportunities. As I mentioned, the Lacazette free kick. There was also the Willian chance where he was on the left-hand side of Manchester United's penalty area, and it looked like his touch was a bit stuck underneath his feet and he couldn't get it out properly to have a really, really good shot towards the back post where I think he would have scored. But yeah, it was an unlucky opportunity there for Willian that he should have done better at. And another good chance actually fell to Emil Smith-Rowe, who was able to take the ball into his feet and then get a really, really good, hard, blistering shot at the Manchester United goal, but was covered rather easily by David De Gea in the end. And I think he did well with that shot because it sort of took him a little bit away from the goal and a little bit off balance, but should be doing better from that range to worry the goalkeeper David De Gea there. And yeah, I just feel like one of these sides today should have got the win. I feel like they both should have done better with their opportunities. They were just great opportunities, and I feel like Manchester United have missed a real opportunity today to just gain 2 more points, 2 more crucial points for the title race. And in terms of Arsenal, losing out on 2 points to propel them further up the table, but I suppose both teams would take 1 point away from this game, considering if either side would have been that little bit more clinical, then the other side would have walked away without anything in the game. So in my opinion, I think both sides will be rather happy, but a little bit disappointed with their own clinicalness and their finishing in the game. Southampton versus Aston Villa was the next game on our list, and you have to say it was a bit of a smash and grab from Aston Villa in this game. They really didn't have much success with Southampton swamping them and swarming them for a large majority of the game, and yeah, they did really, really well defensively, with Emi Martinez making some outstanding saves throughout the game. And yeah, Danny Ings having a chance where he effectively flicks it past the defender and then goes through on goal. He sort of lays it back to one of his teammates, and yeah, they go for goal, but it sort of hits one of Aston Villa's defenders' hands, and the referees deem it as no penalty. And I do agree with that, because it did hit the defender's thigh before travelling up to his arm, and I believe that was the correct decision from the referees. One of the more positive uses of VAR in the game of football. And yeah, Southampton had many other chances with, at times, as many as 3 or 4 Aston Villa players on their own goal line trying to stop the ball from going in. However, I just have to applaud Aston Villa for how they took their goal. They worked it very well down the left-hand side into Jack Grealish, who sprinted down the wing, and then what an absolutely delightful ball. Whipped in all the way across the box, high in the air, straight towards Ross Barkley, who heads it in at the near post, beating McCarthy, who thinks it's going to the far post, but Ross Barkley absolutely bullets it in unexpectedly to the Southampton goalkeeper. And it was a very good opportunity taken by Aston Villa. Very few opportunities that they had in the game, but will be very happy taking the 3 points away from Southampton. And in terms of where this puts them in the table, Aston Villa are just doing extremely well this season. I genuinely think that they will have an amazing chance of getting Europa League football this season, and they might as well do it, you know, with all the class of talent they have, their clinicalness as proven today. And yeah, and in terms of Southampton, they did everything right today except for score. Yeah, not much else to say other than that. Southampton will be really feeling bad after this game, knowing they should have got something from the game, really should have got all 3 points, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they would have taken even a draw over a loss. But yeah, well done to Aston Villa for yeah, the amazing display. The first goals were scored today in Thomas Tuchel's reign as Chelsea manager, with a 2-0 win over Burnley, and it was just a very dominant display, I would say, from Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea side, and with 2 goals, one each coming from either fullback, Marcus Alonso and Cesar Azpilicueta. We'll start first with Cesar Azpilicueta's goal, and Hudson-Odoi running down Chelsea's right wing and laying it off back on the outside of him to Azpilicueta, who smashes it in the top near corner, and it was an amazing finish. However, I do think that Pope should have done better with where he was positioned, as the ball was in and around his arms, but he wasn't able to get anything on it to keep it out. And yeah, Hudson-Odoi, I would say today, was a big key component in how they were able to break down Burnley and how they were ultimately able to get the win today. And yeah, providing many chances to the likes of Pulisic, to Werner, to Tammy Abraham, and all of them weren't able to take advantage. But then as we move on to the second goal scorer for Chelsea today, he really did take his opportunity, and Marcus Alonso was able to pick up a ball inside the penalty area from a very smart and very precise chipped ball by Christian Pulisic, and it came straight into him on his chest, and then after that took one more touch on his knee before absolutely screaming it and rocketing it into the back of the net, into the roof, and nothing Pope could do about that whatsoever. Coming back into the side, Marcus Alonso, what a statement he made to score a goal like that. Absolutely amazing. And when Chelsea need it the most, the 3 points, after they're trailing majority of their rivals in terms of top 4 places this season for Champions League, that was a very vital win for Chelsea. And yeah, I hope this can give their players a lot more confidence to go out there and get results in future match days. And yeah, hopefully as well at some point soon we'll see Timo Werner firing, because again he had another very woeful performance and I'm worrying quite badly for him. Where has he gone? Because he has gone missing ever since coming to Chelsea. But I hope he can turn that around for Chelsea, and yeah, start getting on the score sheet. One of the biggest shocks of the weekend that I would say is this game between Leicester City and Leeds United, whereby Leeds United win the game 3-1 after being 1-0 down to Leicester. A beautiful goal from Harvey Barnes, weaving in and out of the Leeds defence before slotting it home down on the floor below the goalkeeper of Leeds. And at this point, 1-0 up Leicester. I think that Leicester are going to go on to dominate the game like they usually do. But no, an immediate response from Leeds, as they have done so often this season. And yeah, a very, very good outside of the foot pass by Bamford into Dallas, and Dallas gets the equaliser for Leeds to put them back on terms 1-1. And at this point I'm thinking, okay, there's still chance for Leicester to win this game, but then Leeds just really did turn it up. And a beautiful second goal by Patrick Bamford. The ball comes into him on the edge of the box and he sort of lets the ball run across his body before just hammering it across the goal. And there was really no chance for Schmeichel to save that whatsoever. Beautiful goal by Patrick Bamford, putting Leeds up 2-1 at this point. And yeah, he was very much involved in all three of the goals today, as with the third goal, Leeds breaking on the left-hand side with beautiful 1-2 passes, finds Bamford, who makes a run down the centre. The Leeds players on the left are able to find him. He goes straight through on goal and very, very unselfishly decides to lay it off to Harrison, who he feels like is in a better position to score the goal, and Harrison makes it 3-1. And with 2 assists and a goal on the day, Patrick Bamford was the absolute key player in Leeds getting the result today. And I feel like Leeds now, if they are able to perform like this every week, I genuinely think Leeds will get top half of the table, maybe be pushing for Europa League, but I think 9th, 10th place for Leeds United definitely on the cards. They're definitely good enough. And in terms of Leicester, denting their hopes of remaining as close as possible to Manchester City at the top of the Premier League. And with the next fixture, they actually drop a place to 4th in the Premier League now. In the next matchup, it was West Ham United versus Liverpool Football Club, and Liverpool were able to get a result 3-1 win today against West Ham, and it was a very important win for Liverpool to get back-to-back wins under their belt after a very impressive performance against Tottenham Hotspur. And with the defensive pairing of Henderson and Phillips, I feel like they did extremely well today and didn't really look to miss Fabinho all too much in the side, with a very, very strong performance by Nat Phillips. And just the whole Liverpool team in general, I feel like it was a very dominant display, very vintage Liverpool side, and they were able to get their first goal with Mohamed Salah in the game after half-time, with a beautiful bit of play by Mo Salah, just dribbling up to the defender jockeying backwards. He weaves in and out and then flicks it out onto his left foot, picks his spot and curls it into the top left corner past Fabianski, and that was 1-0 Liverpool. And that gave them so much belief to score even more goals in the game, because at half-time in the game it was 0-0 and there wasn't too many chances from Liverpool in the first half. And I initially was wondering, would this be another one of those Liverpool performances where they're a little bit lacklustre and are unable to effectively pick up a result against a team who are also doing very well in the Premier League this season actually, but typically would be second half of the table in other seasons. And I really feel like that goal gave Liverpool so much hope to go on and to get even more goals in the game, and just for Mo Salah himself getting that confidence to score again in the Premier League after not scoring since the 19th of December before that first goal. And it clearly showed, because then he was able to get the second goal of the game, and it was a superb goal. Xherdan Shaqiri down the left hand side, picking Mo Salah up with an exquisite ball, really high lofted ball, straight into Mo Salah with a bit of curl, and Mo Salah, one touch, stops it dead with his weaker right foot, and slotting it home with a little dink over the keeper's leg into the back of the net for 2-0, 2 goals for Mo Salah. And yeah, you felt like at this point the result and the game were definitely in Liverpool's hands, and I felt like Liverpool from here weren't gonna lose this position. And yeah, 6 minutes from the end of the game, Liverpool were able to score a third with Gini Wijnaldum, and he really did just finish the game off for Liverpool. It was beautiful. Bobby Firmino laying it off to Gini Wijnaldum and putting it in the bottom left corner, looking somewhat like a typical FIFA sweaty goal, but it was a very good goal, I would say. Very unselfish from Firmino, and putting Liverpool 3-0 up. Now, the last goal of the game, scored by West Ham United, and Dawson, again this season, after scoring against Crystal Palace, I believe, he was able, from a corner, the ball got whipped in, and it sort of bypassed everyone in the box, fell straight to Dawson, and side-footed it straight past Alisson into the right side of the goal, and he was able to get 1 goal back for West Ham. However, I feel like West Ham will be very frustrated with that, because had they have attacked a little bit earlier on in the game, I feel like West Ham would have had more chance of getting some points from this game, and that is mainly due to the fact that early on, I would say West Ham were the better team. West Ham had more chances to score, and yeah, I feel like they should have scored early on, really. But yeah, West Ham, I feel like they'll be happy with certain parts of the performance, but the actual result I feel like they'll be unhappy with. But I'm pretty sure that West Ham will continue to pick up results like they have done throughout the whole of this season, and I fully expect West Ham to get Europa League football. And yeah, I really hope they do, after the last couple of seasons really struggling in the Premier League. And yeah, they really do deserve it. And in terms of Liverpool, really just reinstating their intent on winning the Premier League after this result today, leaping them up to 3rd place past Leicester City, only a point behind Manchester United. And yeah, I said it previously, but I feel like Manchester City's nearest challenger in the Premier League will be Liverpool, and whether or not Liverpool are able to overtake them in the table to go top is yet to be seen. But with Liverpool playing Manchester City in a few weeks' time, I feel like that will be a very big indication of who is the better side out of those two, and who potentially will go on to win the Premier League. In the last game of the weekend was Brighton versus Tottenham, and another big shock, as Brighton were able to beat Tottenham 1-0 and help them in achieving further distance from the relegation battle. And I just have to say, it was a really well-earned win from Brighton today. Thoroughly deserved the 3 points, and were all over Spurs like a rash, with many opportunities, including one that hit the post in the first half, I believe. And Brighton just really did outclass Spurs, and Spurs just really looked rather sluggish, in my opinion, throughout the whole entire evening. And yeah, beautifully taken goal by Trossard. I have to say, he just put it in at the near post, absolute bullet. And yeah, Brighton will be extremely happy with the 3 points, and yeah, I'm very happy for them. As a neutral, just looking at that game, they really did deserve it. And yeah, I just think it will make a very exciting last third to the season, with Brighton getting the 3 points there. And yeah, I still personally believe, I don't think Brighton will go down, but this season has been very unpredictable, and you never know what will happen in the last half of the season here, so I guess we just have to wait and see. We have now come to the end of this Premier League weekend fixture roundup. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to like, comment and subscribe to the TFC Football YouTube channel. And if you are a new subscriber, please don't forget to put a comment in the comment section saying I subscribed, and I will try my absolute best to respond to all of you and make you feel as welcome as possible to this channel. So thank you everybody for watching. Have a good day. See ya.